a student in college, and I was studying engineering on one side of our campus and not really involved in any sort of civic activities. But then there were a few personal issues that came up. One is that I couldn't really afford to live anywhere near campus, and the other one was that they were about to raise the cost of tuition, which would have forced me to drop out of school and have to take a full-time job so that I could pay it, raise enough money to actually go back into school. And so these things just weren't exactly the issues that I was planning on taking on, but they forced me to get active. So I went with a few of my friends and we got together and we went to talk with our legislators and we said, well, what can we do about this? She said, well, you need to show up. She actually said, just show up, which is actually great because I understand that's also the name of Bill Gates Sr.'s book, The Showing Up in Life. And that was exactly the advice that we received. And so we got together and did that. And so a handful of students went up and we talked to our state legislators and we said, we need to see some changes here. And surprisingly, they listened. And so that was really a turning point in my life where I got my first taste of empowerment and realized that I could make a difference and wanted to dedicate my life towards that. I think the main thing that makes a citizen great is that they are an active member of their communities. And by active members, we really look at it through the sense of someone who's informed, someone who's engaged, someone who's giving and caring, and somebody who's trusting. Both trustworthy themselves as well as trusting in others. And the main way to do that is you have to create relationships. You have to know the people in your community, and you have to dedicate yourself to making their lives better, and in the hopes of them doing the same for you. I think some of the key skills that great citizens need is that they need to have the ability to understand how they can make a difference in their communities. And in a big way, this comes through them feeling ownership over their community. And I think that's really the key, is that if somebody doesn't feel that they're part of a community, or feels marginalized, or feels outside of the community, it's just not something that they'll ultimately want to be a part of. So I think that it's something that we need to emphasize. I think one of the key values is this sense of ownership. I think the more that people find themselves connected to others in community and find themselves as though their mission and drive in life is tied to the success of others, where they realize that sometimes I'll use a term, community-centered selfishness. It's where there's a sense of what I need in life to ultimately be successful is also something that many other people in my community need. And I think this is a value that we don't value enough, which is something that it's really about bringing us together around a common goal and common ownership. The definition of community is one that's interesting on its own. I would feel like I'm part of many different communities. I'm from California originally, but I now live in Washington, D.C. So in terms of location, I'm part of multiple geographic communities. I'm also part of a community within the service and civic engagement sector, and also among social entrepreneurs. And I think that my main what draws me close to communities is my relationship with others, where I feel that there are others who care about me and that I can add value to them. And I think that's really the key to the definition of a community, and ultimately what I can bring and what I can get out of those that I affiliate with. I think that to be a good citizen, one must be engaged and active, and so I think from that definition, I do try to be engaged and active as much as I can. However, as my profession is one that's involved in getting people involved, I don't think that I'm as good of a citizen as I could be. I don't know the names of all of my neighbors. I don't talk to them as regularly as I could. Occasionally I'll remove the snow outside of one of their, outside of somebody's front porch, but I really don't get to know these individuals and really have that strong sense of community. So I think that citizenship is something that we might be able to have the right skills to be good at, but I think we can always be better.